Hello you. If you're watching this video, then I assume that you want to have a big wardrobe clear out. It's almost 2025, it's the absolute perfect time to do it, and I guarantee that this is the ultimate guide. This is from a hoarder, a shopaholic, someone who buys way too much stuff and does not have enough wardrobe space. I have gotten rid of 2 massive IKEA bags full of clothes, and I'm gonna help you do the same. So sit tight, grab yourself a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and we're going to talk about everything you need to do to have a nice wardrobe that works cohesively together, that you're excited to wear, and where you can actually see your clothes. Step number 1, get everything out of your wardrobe. And I can already hear you, T, there's going to be so much effort, I can't be bothered. I don't care. You're not going to have as good a wardrobe clear out if your things are in your wardrobe. You won't be able to see everything, and also it motivates you so much to get rid of things. If you know that you're going to have to put every single little thing back in your wardrobe, you're going to have to fold it up, it's going to be so much effort. It also really helps you to reevaluate what clothes you have too many of. I think if you have a lot of things shoved in a drawer, sometimes it's easy to realize, oh, I definitely don't need 30 of the exact same thing. Now that we've got that established, let's move on to some really crucial questions. Number 1 being, does it fit you? Now, unless you're postpartum, have gone through something particularly difficult that's made you lose or gain weight, or for some reason you know that you're a really weight fluctuating kind of person, there is no reason that there should be clothes in your wardrobe that do not fit you, especially not clothes that used to fit you and you're hoping are going to fit you again. I held on to items of clothing for so long because I used to like them, and honestly because I kind of held on to the idea that I want to be skinny enough again to wear them again. But they're taking up space from things you could actually wear and actually love, and they're also imposing a really bad beauty standard on you. They're gonna make you feel like, oh, I'm not my ideal body unless I fit into this item of clothing. I used to have these pastel jeans, 1 pair in purple and 1 pair in pink, and honestly I don't even think they're necessarily my style anymore, but I still had them up until now because I was so obsessed with the idea that one day they would fit me again. And this doesn't just go for things that are too small on you. Also, don't keep things that are too big on you in an inconvenient way. I have a couple of thrifted items that I bought bigger. Perhaps I thought I would alter them, or maybe I just thought that it would be fine regardless. But honestly, if I'm veering away from wearing something because I know that it's going to be falling down a bit, or I can only wear it with particular outfits where it's slightly covered up, then honestly it's just not a convenient thing to have in my wardrobe. And on that note, are there any other reasons that something in your wardrobe isn't convenient for you to wear? I have this beautiful white dress, backless, super cute white, and it's really see-through. You can definitely see my underwear in it, and most importantly, because it's backless, I can't wear a bra in it, and you can really see my nipples. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for freedom nipple, but it's a white dress which is incredibly see-through. Sometimes I wear it as a skirt with something over it, but at that point it might just be good to get rid of it and invest in an actually good quality thick white skirt that I can easily wear. Again, with sizing, is it actually comfortable for you? I have this blue Brandy Melville skirt, and listen, I know that Brandy Melville is awful, but I also did to an extent have this hyperfixation that like, ooh, Brandy Melville sizing fits me, it's great. Brandy Melville sizing doesn't really fit me comfortably. Potentially I don't think it ever has, but now it certainly doesn't. Last time I wore it, I genuinely had to unzip it while I was on the bus so that I could feel like I could breathe. Next question, do you wear it often? I'm going to allow a little bit of leeway on this one, just because I will say my wardrobe was so incredibly cluttered before I did my first wardrobe clear out that I honestly had a lot of clothes I kind of forgot existed, and not because I wasn't excited about them, not because I didn't like them, and not because they didn't fit well into my wardrobe, but because they physically didn't fit well into my wardrobe and I kind of forgot they existed. So I think if you have an initial wardrobe clear out, you find something and you're like, wow, I haven't worn this in a year, but I'm actually really excited about wearing it, you don't have to get rid of it. But if you have something that you know is in your wardrobe but you actually don't ever wear, I think it is a good time to part ways with it. I think this is especially relevant when we're talking about clothes that are good for a particular event. For example, this black romper is something I've held on to as something to wear during the festive period, potentially at Halloween, but during the rest of the year I don't even touch it. I have this sparkly green growing out top, which I think is really fun for a proper night out, but honestly I'm not a university student anymore and I very rarely go out. It's probably not something I need to hold on to. Now, I'm definitely not saying you shouldn't hold on to things that you only wear for special occasions. I have some nice dresses that I wear rarely, and yeah, I do have some costumey things where I think there's a possibility I'd have to rebuy them if I got rid of them. But there are a lot of things that I've been holding on to that honestly I just don't think I need, and I'm 100% sure that it's the same for you. Now let's move into sentimental things, which is another category I'm quite opinionated on. My hot take here is that you should not be keeping it in your wardrobe. If you have something that has a lot of sentimental value to you, put it in a box, keep it as a memory. If you're not actually going to wear it, it shouldn't be taking up space in your wardrobe. Secondly, I also do think there's a lot of sentimental items we have that we do need to let go of. I'm not a strict follower of Marie Kondo's clear out method, but one of the things that did resonate with me is this idea of thanking something for being a part of your life in the way that it has been and then letting go of it. Now, I'm not saying that you need to sit there and be like, thank you so much for the role that you played in my life to a t-shirt, but I do think there is something to be said about sitting with an item of clothing, reflecting on a special memory, a special moment in your life that you had with it, and then letting it go. Another big one, is it currently my style? And I get it, it can be really difficult to pinpoint exactly what's what's your style. I wouldn't necessarily know that I know what my style is, but I do think a good way of looking at it, if I saw this item on Vinted or in a charity shop or, you know, wherever you shop, would I favorite it? Would I buy it? Would I be keen to get it? How much would I pay for it? There's definitely things in your wardrobe that aren't particularly exciting and that are staples, but for the most part, your clothes should be things that you'd want to be buying now, that you actually want to add to your wardrobe, which I guess is my sort of way of saying, does it spark joy? Okay, this one's for my sewing girlies. Look at me. Are you actually going to alter it? I know that it's been sitting in your pile. I know that you said it would make a really cute skirt, it would make a really cute top, it would look so much better if it was a tiny bit shorter. Are you going to do it? I've held on to so many things because I told myself that I was going to fix them, and I haven't. Right now, I have a rule that I'm allowed to have 2 items of clothing that I'm vowing to fix or change in some way. Everything else needs to go. Currently, I have this beautiful skirt, which is massive on me. Again, another charity shop buy where I was like, oh, I'm sure I'll be fine. It's not. But I think it's a beautiful material, and I just got a sewing machine and I'm going to fix this. And I have one more dress that I'm holding on to because I think it's so pretty, but everything else I'm getting rid of. This top that I told myself would look so cute if it was black. Nope. Next up, I sound like a radio host. Sorry. There's also certain items of clothing where there's absolutely a maximum number that you should have in your wardrobe at any given time. Now, this is going to be super different person to person, because if you wear jeans and hoodies every day, you might want to own more hoodies and jeans. Whereas if you're a skirt person, you might want to own more skirts. But at the end of the day, you know your own wardrobe. You know which clothes you genuinely are wearing on repeat. Items of clothing where I decided to be strict with myself were sweatshirts, hoodies, comfortable at-home bottoms, and oversized large t-shirts. Even though these are all items that I do wear, I don't think I care that much about which one I'm necessarily wearing, because for me they're not fashion items, so I just don't think it's super necessary to have that many of them in my wardrobe. Knit jumpers are another one like that for me. I do live in Edinburgh and it is cold and I do wear a lot of knitwear, but that doesn't mean that I need a billion of them. So this, for instance, I am giving up on. Now let's talk about duplicates and near duplicates. I think it's natural, sometimes you just end up with 2 of basically the same thing. When should you keep it and when should you get rid of one of them? And how do you know which one to get rid of? Sometimes 2 very similar looking things can fulfill an entirely different role in your wardrobe. For instance, I have 2 pairs of low-waisted jeans, but I think one of them is much edgier, whereas the other one's kind of cutesy, but I definitely feel like I would wear them in very different outfits. I also have 2 green pairs of pants, for instance. One of them are these kind of brighter green jeans and the other ones are kind of like work panty slacks. Both because of the shade and because of the style, I would wear them to very different occasions and in very different outfits, and that's okay. But I also, for instance, have 2 green tops that basically look identical in shade and in shape, and I also have 2 red tops which are both kind of camis. Even though they are a little bit different, they're similar enough that I have a preference and I have one that I'm going to pick over the other basically every single time that it's clean. I think unless it's like a massive staple piece like a white t-shirt which you feel like it's good to have 2 of, I don't think you should have 2 items of the same thing where you have a preference. Another important one, don't hold on to things just because they're newish. We live in such a fast fashion consumer society, and I feel like we are constantly being convinced that we need and want things that might not genuinely be our style. And I get it, it can be really hard of letting go of something that you've just purchased, you've just spent money on, and you're just not wearing. You might be like, oh, but I want to get at least one wear out of it. But honestly, sometimes we just buy things that aren't us. I definitely have things in my wardrobe that for some reason, with the charity shop glasses where I saw them for £3, I told myself that I absolutely wanted them, brought them home, and I'm never gonna put them on. This is also something that I think happens with brands sometimes, especially if you're into secondhand shopping. Sometimes I see things that are a good brand and they're a good deal for the brand, and then I get them just because it seems like a bargain, and then I bring them home and they're just not me. Like I have a Cat Kitston dress that I genuinely bought for that reason, and I just really don't like it very much. This is perhaps my most important tip, and it's about the actual getting rid of process. Don't get rid of it as in remove it from your flat. Get a massive IKEA bag, put everything that you want to get rid of into that IKEA bag, and then keep it somewhere a little bit hidden, but keep it so you know that you can go back on it if you change your mind. But if in that month, 2 months, however long you want to be keeping it in your flat for, you don't think about the item of clothing, then you truly don't need it. Clearly, you wouldn't notice if it went missing. But I think it's a really great way of encouraging you to be a little bit more stern when you're getting rid of things, because you know that if you did change your mind, it's not like it's gone forever. On a similar note, take your clothes to a charity shop. I think you'll feel better for it. Give them to a friend if you have a friend who you think might like them. I think knowing that your clothes are going on to have like a, you know, a happy new life will make you feel better about parting with them, especially if it's something new that you haven't really had the chance to wear. And lastly, make a note of your maybes, and if you have a bit of time, then try and see if you can style them, if there's something that you'd actually want in your wardrobe. A rule that I quite like to implement is, can I style this item of clothing in 3 different ways that I'd be excited to wear? And if I can't style in 3 different ways, then it's usually a good buy. Obviously, sometimes sometimes you have clothes that you hold on to because you have a particular outfit you love with them, and that is okay. It does happen. But I think for the most part, your clothes should be quite versatile and able to be styled in different ways. Anyway, those are all my pro tips. I hope this was a helpful video. I hope you get rid of so many of your clothes. I'm sending you the best of luck, and do share your stories with me. I hope your wardrobe clear outs go very well, and I'm excited to speak to you guys soon. Bye!